Tonight on this special edition of Elon Local News.
35 candidates, 18 positions, and a student body president seat are up for grabs.
We have speeches, debates, and an exclusive interview with Elon's current student body president, Avery Stedman.
This is Elon Local News SGA Election Show.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for this special SGA Election Show. I'm Kaylee Tracy.
And I'm Alex Hale.
We're set up both in here in Studio A and B with your full Elon SGA election coverage.
Here's how it's going to work. We have 19 candidates waiting to give speeches in Studio B. They're running for positions within their class and their academic councils. Our Gary Grumbach is there and will moderate the presidential debate.
We'll also have an exclusive interview with SGA Executive President Avery Stedman as she prepares to hand over the keys to the office.
SGA has positions open for senator, treasurer, secretary, vice president, and president for each class.
And each academic council is also appointing its representatives. These positions will be held for 1 year beginning mid-March.
In addition to being leaders on campus, the representatives hold the best interests for students. All members are elected by the student body. And now we're going to go to Gary Grumbach. Gary?
Thanks, Alex and Kaylee. I'm Gary Grumbach, News Director of Elon Local News. I'm here now with Dean Janet Lynn Patterson, who's the advisor to Elon Student Government Association. Dean Patterson has been advising Elon's SGA for 15 years. Dean Patterson, the mic is yours, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, and thank you all for working with SGA and being our partners again. And welcome to everyone who is here with us tonight. SGA is your student government, and so as students we hope that we'll have a record turnout. We have a campaigning situation that we don't normally have, and that we have 3 candidates for 1 position. So we are preparing that we may have to have a runoff in the executive president. But this is what we want. This is part of our engaged culture. Why is it important? SGA represents students to the administration and to the faculty of the university. SGA manages your student activity fees that you pay as students and allocates those fees, a little over $500,000 to student organizations. And so SGA is an integral part of the life of our shared governance here at the university. They work with our faculty and staff on most major committees here at the university. There's very little that gets done here without student input, and most of that comes through appointments by the SGA president and through our committee structure. So it's an important time. It's an important election. It's always important when we're also coming up on a national election year. So we just hope that folks will join us, and Avery will be sending out an email with the link so that everyone has it. You can vote at your leisure. And let's have a record vote. And if we have a runoff, get out and vote for that runoff too.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So thank you, Dean Patterson. We've got 1 speech for academic councils before the SGA's at-large councils begin. Each candidate tonight has the time to share why they believe they should be your next representative running for office. And now the Love School of Business Senator is Carl Louis Newbig.
I'm Carl Louis Newbig, and I'm running as your Love School Business Senator. Based on my prior involvement and success in SGA, I hope continue representing the entire student body, while specifically striving to improve the business school. From being a business fellow to my membership in the professional business fraternity Alpha Kappa Psi, I've shown a large interest in business and have taken great personal investment in it. Having represented the business position last semester, I've gained valuable experience on SGA. In the fall, the other business representative and myself were able to do everything from organize a business panel for business students to getting the keyboards changed in the Finance Center. Sitting on the Student Issues Committee as well as the Student Life Committee as a subset of SGA has shown me several needs of our student body and what steps can be taken to improve these issues. Therefore, with my investment in the Love School business and my desire to continue improving Elon, I'm running as your Love School Business Senator. And on March 1st, I'm asking you to allow me to continue representing all of Elon and the Love School business. Thank you.
We are going to begin with the classes, the at-large academic councils, and we're going to start with Jordan Levine.
Hello, my name is Jordan Levine, and I am running for senator for class of 2019. My main concern is safety. I'm sure you all have seen the bright lights that were recently installed along Haggard Ave. As senator, I plan to put these types of lights in the rest of campus. In addition, I plan to expand the biobus routes. I want to make sure that you can be transported anywhere on campus, whether it's late at night or early in the morning. This will also help with safety because you'll be able to hop on the bus late at night at multiple places around campus and be able to get back to your dorm safely. I am also aware that the Danley tram does not run on the weekends and that the Colonnades Dining Hall is not open on the weekends, which makes it really difficult for you to get food, especially if you don't have the +7 meal plan. And as senator, I plan to conduct research to prove that Colonnades being open on the weekends would be beneficial, and that would be the first step to making Colonnades open on the weekends. In addition, the biobus needs to run on the weekends so that you guys can get to various places around campus and visit your friends easier. Lastly, I want to talk about Philo. Philo is a DVR service that was introduced as a pilot to Danley residents. As senator, I plan to begin the process of providing this service to every student. So if you want to see change on Elon's campus, vote Jordan Levine for class of 2019.
Elon University class of 2019. In just a few days, each one of you will have the opportunity to vote for the SGA class officers. First of all, I encourage you to exercise this opportunity. Second of all, I encourage you to vote for me, Walker Helms. Speaking of me, let me share with you a little more about myself. I would like to begin by addressing all of my friends who are under the impression that I am unqualified for the position of class treasurer for the class of 2019. Hey y'all, today's my 18th birthday, so enough with the baby jokes, because I can legally sign this form to run for treasurer without having to send it to my mom first. For those of you who don't know me personally, I'm from Radford, Virginia, and currently pursuing a political science degree with minors in psychology and leadership studies. Combining what I have learned from the courses I have taken in these fields so far, I'm quite familiar with considering the needs of a group of people, understanding what needs to be done to make the people happy, and perhaps most importantly, standing up and being the one to deliver this happiness to these people. Now, this isn't some 4th grade election in which I can promise you pizza and ice cream every Friday for lunch. But what I can promise you is that if you elect me as your class treasurer, class of 2019, I will carry out these 3 steps to the best of my ability. Every year, in some way, shape, or form, each one of you contributes over $45,000 to attend Elon. Now, let me tell you, it doesn't take a world-class treasurer to figure out that $45,000 is a lot of money. This money may bring you the finest professors in the nation, some late-night McEwen tots, and even a nice room to crash in when the day is through. These are just a few examples of the many ways in which your money is put to good use here at Elon. I have a feeling that as treasurer, I would have some responsibility in regards to putting money to good use, in which case, I would first tackle the priorities, of course. But there's a little more to it than that. As a member of the class of 2019, there are certainly a few things that I would do to enhance my Elon experience. I realize that there are about 1,500 of my classmates that would make a few adjustments in their perfect world scenarios too. If you elect me to represent you, I want to first listen to what you have to say, and secondly, transform your suggestions into actions for the class of 2019 and the future of our beautiful school. And remember, don't just talk the talk, walk the walk, class of 2019. Have a great evening.
Hi, I'm Lori Hagedal, a first-year student here at Elon, and I'm running to be the class of 2019 vice president. Now, I know that this position doesn't come with the type of authority to cancel class like in Smitty J's infamous emails, but there are several issues that I'd like to address. My hometown in North Dakota is a very tight-knit community, just as I'm sure many of your hometowns are. Having that strong community presence allows for strong connections and experiences to be made, which I value deeply. As the Vice President of the Class of 2019, I would focus on eliminating the Elon bubble by improving education about, transportation to and from, and programs involving the communities surrounding the Elon University campus. I would accomplish these goals by working with programs that already deal with the Elon and Burlington communities, including Elon Volunteers and the BioBus. I believe that being part of the Student Government Association as the Vice President of the Class of 2019 would allow me to collaborate with my fellow students, SGA officials, and Elon faculty members in order to make Elon feel a little bit more like your hometown community. Thank you.
Hey Elon, Sophie's in here. I'm running for sophomore class vice president and I would really love your vote. I've served on SGA for my freshman year as your freshman class senator and I've loved every minute of it. I've spent time working on the housing selection process, naming the Danley Gym, and bringing your ideas to the SGA agenda. I love giving my fellow classmates a voice and I want to take that aspiration even further by being your vice president. You are all so unique and look for different things for Elon to provide. I know that not everyone is the same. I recognize you for who you are and will continue to value everyone's opinions equally. Honestly, that's why I chose Elon in the first place. I love the passion and drive of Elon's students and the amount of time people spend doing what they love. With everyone having different passions and concerns, it can be hard to hear from every perspective. My goal is to be the person that does. I want to embody the variety of passions and ambitions that our class has and bring your voices and ideas to SGA. I have loved getting to know you over the past 2 semesters and I can't wait to further that next year. Vote Zinn for the win. You won't be disappointed. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is David Ogburn and I'm running for sophomore class vice president. The moment I stepped onto this campus, I knew Elon was special. I felt the potential this school had, not only in its own growth, but also the potential it gave each and every student on its campus. I want to play a role in Elon's development towards reaching the potential we all know it has. I believe the way for Elon to achieve this potential is through creating a society in which every student can play a role. It is time for us to erase the image of the Elon stereotype and recognize that Elon is not for a specific type of person, but for everyone. Through this realization, every student will be able to maximize their time at Elon and a more inclusive community will be built. This will allow for changes within our population, including a growth in diversity. I believe I am the right person for the job because I have a lot of experience with leadership, including being captain of multiple sports teams and being a manager of a staff of 45 lifeguards over the summer. I want to bring this leadership experience to our student government and use this job to make a difference for our school. We, the students, need a larger voice, and I believe I can be the person to amplify that voice. I don't want to be just a name on a ballot. I want to be a person with the vision that you share and someone that you think can make a difference for our school. I would love the opportunity to be your sophomore class vice president. Thank you for your time.
Elon, the Phoenix, our identity. Over the past 7 months, Elon has become our new home. But when we moved here back in September and we began constructing our home, we skimped on the foundation, substituting a strong concrete base for a shaky wooden one. You see, our house isn't quite a home yet, and where SGA should be the beating heart that spurs our student body to innovate, create, and integrate, I feel a void. We have walls in our home, all right, but instead of composing a home, they divide us. In the kitchen, we have Greek life, sports teams in the family room, bookworms and academics in the basement, and a whole bunch of us wondering where we belong. My name is Graham Kulig, and I'm running for president of the class of 2019. Leadership is intensely woven into my past and present, just as much as I want it to be in my future. I was class president in high school for 4 years, and I'm currently a leadership fellow here at Elon. I've done the job before, so I'm very aware of the responsibilities and pressures involved in being our class representative. It's time that we take a step back to reevaluate what's important to us. I have a story I want to share with all of you. Once upon a time, a king was gifted 2 falcons. Identical in appearance, they were the envy of every villager in the kingdom. The king gave the falcons to the head trainer one night and went to bed. By morning, the trainer was ecstatic to report that one falcon was gracefully cruising through the air. However, one falcon had not left his branch. The king summoned healers and priests to make the bird fly, but alas, nothing would work. Having tried everything else, the king said, "Maybe I need someone who's familiar with the land to help me." Thus, the farmer was called. By morning, the king woke up to both falcons circling the clouds high in the sky in delight. In disbelief, the king cried out to the farmer, "How did you do this?" The farmer turned slowly and responded, "I cut the branch where the bird was sitting." Please take a moment and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Relax. Let your mind drift to the future. I bet it's blurry, uncertain, and maybe even a little bit scary to picture. Our time here at Elon is short, so given your decisions thus far, what do you see? Open your eyes. It is my goal to make all of us see our futures as clearly as you see me right now. The rest of our lives are determined by what we do and accomplish here at Elon, and we're already almost done with a quarter of it. Guys, as much as I love the beanbags in Mosley, it doesn't make up for the fact that we have virtually no events that are class of 2019 specific that bring us all together. We went from securing Ludacris for homecoming last year to not even being able to hold on to Andy Grammer this year. We can do better, and we need a leader that focuses on what's moving us forward and together and not what the forecast is. I learned a wise lesson this past winter that compared a meaningful life to telling a story. When you tell your life story, will it be about circling the clouds high above your broken branch? Or will it be from the branch with the king, stagnant and unthrilling? Ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting and waiting on the branches of our lives right now. We cannot sit and be passive. Vote for Graham to snap the branch of simplicity, boredom, and divisiveness in your life, and for an SGA body that is more present, productive, and effective. Thank you, and stay classy, Elon.
Hello, and good evening. My name is Kenneth Brown Jr., and I'm running for sophomore class president. First, it's been an honor to serve as the first year class president over the past year. I have met so many wonderful and interesting people over the past few months. As a result of my tenure, I have learned so much about the inner workings of student government and how they play an effective role in difference making. I have also given our class, the class of 2019, a louder voice as we continue to keep the energy that has been flowing since the fall through our class. But we're not done yet. Sometimes we get tired, and sometimes we may not even feel up to the challenge, but I know that we can do amazing things that burst the bubble. My campaign is dedicated to re-energizing our class so that we can continue to have great discussions, but engage in actions that make us, Elon, and our community a better place for all. Vote for a candidate that you believe is best qualified to continue to lead us. For the person that shares your hopes and dreams, a candidate that will spend their every waking moment reaching for the stars. I'm in this for the long run, and I am standing by your side every step that you take, every mile that you run. In order for us to be the best that we can be, we have to keep marching forward. And I would love it if I can continue to help lead the march. But no matter what happens when results are announced, I will continue to march by your side, because when we fall, we need someone to help us up. We've only completed a semester and a half of our college career, but we still have a long way to go. So let's do this together. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Morgan Bodnarian, and I'm running to be the next Vice President of the 2018 junior class. Throughout my educational career, I have held a plethora of leadership positions that have prepared me for the role of representing our class and our school. Starting my junior year of high school, I worked as a class council member to plan a prom that will be remembered for years to come. My senior year of high school, I was elected Vice President of our 2014 class and worked overtime as homecoming and reverse homecoming dance coordinator. Here at Elon, I'm a founding member and Vice President of our Caribbean Student Association. These are just a few of the leadership positions that I hold that have prepared me for the one that I am running for today. Many of you may have seen me as I made my way around campus gathering all 150 signatures. Some of you asked me, what do you plan to do in office? What are your plans for our class? My answer was simply, you tell me. Coming into this race, I decided to run on the platform of having no platform. I didn't want to come into office with my own ideas of how I thought I could make our years great. I wanted to come into office with open ears and open communication. I wanted to hear from all of you what you wanted from student government, rather than tell you what I had planned. On more than one occasion, I've slipped up in front of my hometown friends and my parents, calling Elon my home. However, that's what it's become. For these next few years, Elon is our home, and they are going to be what we make of them. Now is the time to start getting involved, if you haven't already, to make these years as great as they can be. And you can start by voting in leaders into office who are ready to advocate, communicate, and adhere to the best of our abilities, the needs and wants of our junior class. So please, vote Morgan B. for VP.
My name is Rachel Hobbs, and I'm running to be the president of the class of 2018. This past year, I served as the vice president of our class. As vice president, I was inspired by the fact that so many students truly care about Elon and have so many great ideas for our campus. While in this role, I took many steps to make many of your ideas a reality. This past term, I co-chaired the Student Issues Committee, a committee that voices the concerns of the student body. As a co-chair, I created a Student Issues website that allows students to submit their ideas online, and led the committee in listening to the student body as we work to address issues such as parking and campus security. As president, I would continue to bring about change based on your ideas. So whether you have an idea for a program at Elon, or simply just see something small that needs to be fixed, it's my hope that we can create an environment where students feel comfortable expressing their concerns. This is your campus, and I want to follow your lead. I truly enjoyed the opportunity to represent our class, and would love the opportunity to do so again next year. If elected as president, I would strive to lead our class down a path where we leave a legacy at Elon and seize each day of our college experience. Thank you.
Good evening, class of 2017. My name is Kelsey Johnson. 2 years ago, I stood before you and asked you to choose me as your class senator. And I thank you so much for giving me that opportunity, not once, but twice, to serve you. Today, I stand before you, asking for your support in electing me as your class president. I'm sure we all agree that first semester freshman year felt like yesterday. And now, here we are on the verge of our senior year, which might prove to be the most important year of our college careers. It is so important that our class has a dedicated president to represent us in student government as we prepare to make our final marks on Elon. I believe I am that person. I believe that I am the perfect candidate to serve as your class president for senior year. As your next class president, I will do my part to ensure the best senior year possible. Specifically, I will continue to expand communication between our class and its representatives. I will work to grow SGA's social media presence, and let's also have in-person conversations. In addition to being available for office hours, I will host mostly town hall-style meetings every month and in common locations such as Mosley. Members of the class will be able to come and voice their concerns, ask questions, and receive information about upcoming events. As class president, I will be serving you. Accessibility is imperative. I will also work to pass legislation that acknowledges Elon's diversity and SGA's commitment to helping our campus celebrate that diversity. Our class, as members of the Elon community, has had its shares of trials over the last year or so. Some of those trials include social, racial, and sexual discrimination. We have experienced difficult times,
But what stood out to me is how we have united and moved forward after such occasions. We support each other, and why not convey that support through legislation? These are two of the initiatives I'll take on once elected. In short, class of 2017, it would be my deepest honor to serve you as your president as we continue to develop as individuals and as a community in our last year on campus. Thank you, and I look forward to what's ahead.
Hello friends, my name is Ethan Warren and I'm running for the Executive Treasurer position of Elon SGA. Acting in this role, I will strive to improve the Elon experience for all students, faculties, and staff for years to come. I hope I can count on your support, and together we can continue to make this amazing university better for years to come. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you to everyone listening to these speeches tonight. Your involvement in the student government elections is much appreciated. My name is Heather Lamb, and I am running for the position of SGA Executive Secretary. I am a junior majoring in sport and event management with minors in both entrepreneurship and leadership. When I first stepped onto Elon's campus, my junior year of high school, my strong passion for Elon began. I knew that Elon was where I wanted to go to school, and I wanted to be an active member of the community. Over the past 3 years, I have been involved in our SGA, the Leadership Fellows Program, and the Study Abroad Program, amongst others. This involvement has only strengthened my love and enthusiasm for Elon University. To me, and I am sure many others, Elon is more than just a university. It is a home away from home for about 6,000 students. Its inclusive and engaging environment gives us each the opportunity to put our strengths to use and allows us to follow our ambitions and our dreams. Elon is unique, as is our student body, and it would truly be an honor and a privilege to serve as your executive secretary. When thinking about how I fit the position of executive secretary, 3 words came to mind: experienced, competent, and committed. These words embody who I am as a person and as a leader. The first is experienced. I have been a member of Elon's Student Government Association for the past 3 years of my Elon career, so I know firsthand how important SGA is. As a first year, I held the position of Campus Program Senator for the Organization Council. In this position, I acted as a liaison between the Center for Leadership, Elon-thon, New Student Orientation, and SGA. Last year, I was the sophomore class vice president, during which time I worked hard to be a voice between my fellow classmates and our student government. And currently, I represent all developing organizations on Elon's campus. It has been a privilege to serve as a senator for SGA and to be a part of the major changes that have been implemented on our campus. The second word that exemplifies my leadership is competent. I am very competent in all aspects and can handle many tasks, proven through my involvement here on campus. Last year, as chair of the Special Events Committee, I spearheaded the planning of events such as President Lambert's holiday party, Trick or Treat Mosley, and OAIC, an awards banquet to close out our Senate year. I also implemented legislation that a previous senator had written by starting a 9/11 memorial event. This event has been a success for 2 years, and I believe that this tribute will only continue to grow. As Special Events Committee Chair, I learned that it takes hard work, lots of energy, and countless hours to be successful. This position has taught me the necessary skills to plan large-scale events for the entire university. These are very important skills that I would continue if I was elected as Executive Secretary, as one of the major responsibilities of the position is planning homecoming. Homecoming is so important to Elon because it is a time for both students and alumni to enjoy a weekend together and to honor the university we all love. Planning homecoming is a large task, but a task I know I can handle. The other major role of SGA Executive Secretary is to record minutes for each Senate meeting. These minutes need to be detailed and thorough since they are available for the entire student body. Therefore, the position requires someone who is detail-oriented and extremely organized. Anyone who knows me or has seen my planner knows that I am very organized. I know that I have the ability to deliver these meeting minutes in the manner that SGA and you, the Elon student body, would expect. The last trait that sets me apart from the others is my extreme commitment in everything that I do. My passion for Elon makes me dedicated to the continued growth and development of Elon. I am a proud student of this university. Every day, I walk around this campus, admiring its beauty and everything it has to offer. I am committed to helping our school be the best place for the current student body, future student body, and alumni. My experiences, combined with my organization, determination, and efficiency, make me the most qualified candidate for the position. As secretary, my goal will not only be to carry out the tasks I have already mentioned, but also to make sure that each student on campus has a voice and can feel comfortable coming to SGA whenever necessary. I will always be ready and willing to hear all of your thoughts and ideas about how we can make the upcoming year here at Elon the best it can possibly be. I will give my time, 100% of my effort, and my passion for Elon to this position, and I would appreciate your vote next week. Thank you, and have a great night.
Good evening, Elon. My name is Alex Hunter, and I'm currently a junior here at Elon University. Tonight, I will be sharing with you my platform and why I believe I'm the best candidate for our school's executive secretary. When you walk into an office, the first person you interact with is the secretary. He or she is the first impression you receive of an institution. They set the mood, the greeting, the smile, it is everything. I want the honor of serving as the first impression of our student government as well as our school. I'll have a greeting that blows your socks off, a smile that shines, and promote a positive, diverse environment that we can all thrive in. I go beyond the pen and paper. I acquire the skills, the organization, and the passion to serve as a catalyst to move us forward into the place where Elon deserves to be. My two principal roles I would have as secretary would be to take the minutes at our weekly student government meetings, which you are all welcome to, by the way, as well as plan and execute our annual homecoming celebration. And people, let me tell you, this takes event planning skills, extreme organization, and major time management. From all the homecoming events to the game itself. Now you're asking me, well, Alex, since this takes so much skill, what abilities, may I ask, do you bring? Let me explain. My first 2 years here at Elon, I had the honor of working at our Center for Leadership as the Organization Development Director. Under this role, I had the pleasure of working with and overseeing all 250 plus student organizations here on campus, as well as plan and execute school-wide events such as Leadership for Lunch and the annual President's Dinner. Through this position, I had the opportunity and honor to serve on Elon's Student Life Committee also, where I recorded our meeting minutes and worked side by side with Smith Jackson to facilitate student organization life on campus. I know what it takes to host a successful, meaningful event here at Elon. I know the diversity of our school through working with all organizations, which gives me unique insight on the desires and goal of each student here. It would be my goal to bring these groups together, increasing the participation in homecoming, as well as the week itself. It would be my utmost priority to incorporate all interests, groups, and passions within this week, celebrating the diverse Elon community of which Elon attracts. I support Elon's campaign in continuing to create an inclusive environment where all students feel comfortable, strong, and feel as though they can attain the confidence to lead in the change they wish to make. I will facilitate this movement into improving our community to reaching the potential of where it should stand. We together as an Elon community can apply our institution's values to not only better ourselves and our community, but the world around us in which we live in. Elon, I hope tonight each of you walks away with the education and knowledge which will aid you in your thinking process upon the time of voting. And yes, seniors, please vote too. It will be your last Elon election ever. Take advantage of it. And with that, I will leave you, my friends. And of course, remember, the hunt is over. Vote Alex. Thank you.
Just go whenever. Okay. Elon University. Hello. My name is Mark McGann, and I want to be your Executive University Vice President. Starting out at the ripe age of 14, student government and bettering my school's community has been an integral part of my life. I was an elected official all 4 years of high school, ending that track with executive treasurer of my school. I then continued on my journey and ran for and was elected first-year senator, and then followed that with sophomore class treasurer. I love this university that we call ours. As a tour guide, I've memorized everything about this university and I've seen every shred of grass. But I would be ignorant to say that there is no growth to be had. A main concern in my eyes comes down to the social climate. There aren't enough study options that include diversity and inclusion when it comes to our campus. Options that would wet the whistle and slap the knee of a college student. We are a campus of all different shapes, sizes, colors, and textures. And there needs to be events that embrace such and make inclusion finally an actual standard. Many before me have said the path to acceptance is education, and though a very strong path, and one I do not disagree with, I must point out that when there happens to be an open forum or an educational gathering on campus, those who attend are usually the ones who don't need to be taught. It's like going to church and screaming at the people who are seated, "Believe in Christ!" Well, duh, they're already in church. The usual counter-argument would then be, well, make those who need to be taught show up. It's a lot easier said than done. So let's keep on educating, of course, but let us not have that be our only avenue for inclusion. We need to look into the college mindset, look our fellow Phoenix eye to eye, and we need to ask, what would it take for social reform in the way of diversity and inclusion? Now, right hand raised, Girl Scout honor. In no way am I saying that by voting me, Mark McGann, as Executive Vice President, you are voting for a change overnight. As many of you know, social reform and diversity and inclusion have been a battle upon years, upon decades. But what I am promising is passion behind the force and a leader whose head is on that exact target. That is also where you come in. Yes, technically it will be my position in student government, but hopefully the legislations and actions will be your voice. I'm going to need as much student input and voicing to help me be a successful leader to our population of 6,400. I would never once ask for this to be an independent task. We, Phoenix, are a team, unified under one goal. By voting Mark McGann as your student executive vice president, you are voting for a candidate who holds an unbreakable amount of energy, an abundance of enthusiasm. You are voting for a listener who cares, and a speaker who isn't afraid of any social setting. You are voting for a fellow student, just like yourself, who cares about the happiness of these 4 years. No one comes to college to have a mediocre time. You come to be riveted, you come to have those spine-tingling memories that keep you up at night over the summer, waiting to get back to campus. But for that to be true for all, we need to make this a true home. Let's start the memory count on March 1st. Together, let us make Elon the proper nest for a Phoenix of all different colors. My name is Mark McGann, and I want your vote as Executive Vice President.
Good evening, Elon University. My name is Mark Schenk, and I am here to tell you why I am running for the position of Executive Vice President. 2 years ago, I was here giving my first SGA election speech when I ran for class senator. I had gotten the idea to run only days before the election packets were due when another student from my year, who is running here today, knocked on my residence hall door and asked me to sign her elections petition. Before that moment, the thought of joining student government hadn't really occurred to me. But I knew I wanted to be a part of something on campus where I could make a difference. I didn't know a whole lot about SGA at the time, but I thought an organization where you have to get 100 signatures just to join must mean something. So I signed her petition and the next day printed my own. I ran up and down residence halls, McEwen, and awoke pretty much the entire historic neighborhood to get that packet in on time. When I finally handed it in, not only was I out of breath, but I had no idea the incredible impact that SGA would have on my college experience, or more importantly, the lasting friendships I have formed throughout my time on the Senate. Needless to say, it didn't take long before I realized that Elon student government was much more than just a club. While I didn't become class senator, I was welcomed into a position on the Organization Council, which became my home for the next 2 years. The Council's mission is to make sure that every organization is properly represented within the Senate and allocated a fair budget for the following year. Not only has this position enlightened me to the needs and concerns of different programs around our campus, but it has allowed me to grow closer to the Elon student body as a whole. As an entrepreneurship major, I feel that my passion for innovation and productivity translates well to the role of Executive Vice President. With this in mind, I plan on using SGA as a platform for blending social boundaries that exist on campus. I work at the Mosley Student Center, where I get to see the student body interact in the heart of our campus. And since working there, I've noticed that there is a huge advantage to having organizations not only working in close proximity to one another, but within easy access to general student space. Not only does this foster interaction between organizations, it creates a positive environment for groups to share ideas and cultivate creativity. As Executive Vice President, I would use that same concept of open communication and blending between groups to create a more dynamic structure between SGA and the Elon student body. In the past couple of years, student government has done a tremendous job in reaching out to the Elon community and becoming a visible presence on campus. With open office hours, the Fun Fund, or Mosley Trick or Treat, SGA has really gone above and beyond in terms of reaching out to the community. As Executive Vice President, one of my goals is to advance this dedication to service by being as transparent as possible. While I've been campaigning over the past few weeks, one of the questions I've asked people is, what do you know about student government? And while most people know we exist, I've realized that students are interested in learning more about this organization as a whole. With me as your Vice President, I would ensure that our mission of serving the student body and commitment to positive growth is properly communicated. I'm committed to student government, and I've loved getting to know students from every organization on this campus because of it. I've loved listening to them speak, and I've loved hearing them come to me with passionate suggestions. For everyone in this room, I've greatly appreciated not only getting to know you, but working hard with you. And for everyone not in this room, if you've never felt impacted by SGA, I'll make sure you'll get to know us too. Thank you all so much for your time this evening. And thank you to the senator who knocked on my room 2 years ago. I probably wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for you. So vote for me, Mark Schenk, to be your Executive Vice President. I promise you won't regret it.
I'm here with Executive Presidential candidates Stephen Armendariz, Kyle Porro, and Chris Tarpley. Thank you guys so much for joining us. All three are rising seniors and are hoping to be elected as your next student body president. Each candidate will have the opportunity to give their speech, and then we'll debate on a few topics currently affecting the Elon community. So we're going to go in alphabetical order by last name. So we begin with Stephen Armendariz. Stephen, go for your speech.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I first want to thank everyone that's here today, and I also want to thank Elon Local News for hosting the student government elections. I want to start off by introducing myself, for those of you who do not know me. My name is Stephen Armendariz. I am a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, majoring in political science. You will probably see me going around giving tours and hanging out with friends and mostly during the week, especially in those cloud-like beanbags that we now have. When I'm not relaxing and mostly in the beanbags, you'll probably see me hanging out in the Mosley area. Overall, I'm still kind of upset that the Panthers lost the Super Bowl. Furthermore, every time I go eat, you'll probably see me at Tangent getting the chicken and waffle taco. It's absolutely delicious. Now that you know more about me, I'm running for executive president because I want to help Elon continue to grow and make it a more united campus. Elon is a second home to me, as I am sure it is to many of you all. Here we have formed great friendships and memories that will last a lifetime. Therefore, I want to give back to my second home and make it better and allow it to grow even further. I have had a great time at Elon and have been able to foster a lot of relationships. For example, as a tour guide, I have been able to talk about how much I enjoy Elon. It makes me proud when prospective students hear about everything that Elon students are doing with admiration, like research, study abroad, and service, and just to name a few. Every student has different passions, and they're all engaged within a community. However, there are some students on Elon's campus that do not feel accepted, that do not feel that they have a place here at Elon. I want to change this, and I want to make sure that every student graduates having the best 4 years of their life. There have been many incidents of racial discrimination, segregation among organizations, and other student issues over the past year and since the time I've been at Elon. Elon has changed a lot, especially its student life, both in a positive manner and a negative manner. My goal is that we can come together as a united campus, and I've seen this happen, especially last fall during our soccer season when we were doing absolutely amazing. It really showed how Elon students came together to support our soccer team. Additionally, when we lost one of our fellow students, unfortunately last summer, we all came together in order to help each other out and feel better. And overall, we also encouraged our football team to try their best, even though they were facing many issues. Together, we can unite Elon, whether it's for sports, organization events, or supporting one another in our personal endeavors like research during SURF. I have held different leadership positions in this organization and as well as many other organizations on campus. I joined SGA my sophomore year and became the junior class vice president, which I currently hold. In this, I also joined the Student Issues Committee as a member, and during my time on the Student Issues Committee, I was able to resolve and hear about many issues across the entire campus. I was able to resolve issues like parking and gain new parking spots by the Daly Center in order for students that do not live in the Daly neighborhood to be able to park there and eat. Furthermore, we also did a lot of work with lighting around campus, which as you can see now has been very successful. I'm working even more now with my fellow committee members in the Student Issues Committee to continue helping address all these student issues. I believe that my past leadership experiences, my ability to work as a team member, and the work I have done on SGA since my sophomore year make me the perfect candidate for executive president. I will listen to your concerns and make sure that they are all addressed. Thank you for listening, and I hope you vote for me. Thank you.
Kyle, the floor is yours. Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much. Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for coming. My name is Kyle Poro, and I am humbly standing here in front of you all tonight, running for the position of executive president. Now, SGA is undoubtedly one of the most influential organizations on campus. Every single student on Elon's campus is represented in at least one way through their Senate. Now, with that widespread reach, obviously comes a lot of responsibility. What do the students want to see? What changes do we want to be made? Those are really the questions that should be guiding every single decision and every single movement that SGA makes. Now, you could be the brightest person in the world, but if you're not in tune with what your constituents are saying and what your constituents are feeling, you're not going to be a good president. You're not going to know what they want to see, what those changes are that should be made. Now, I've been lucky enough to spend every single semester on campus on SGA in several different capacities. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that the most influential and the most important changes that we saw as a Senate came from the students. They were all student-born initiatives. Now, what that means is they were students who saw something on campus. They said, this is a great opportunity for us to grow as a campus. They came to their representatives, they came to their Senate, and with that partnership between the SGA and the students, we were able to make huge strides forward for the entire campus. Now, like I said, I've been in several different capacities on SGA, and that story has stood true regardless of if I was representing the class of 2017, the business school, or the entire school. It was always the students who saw the changes that needed to be made. They saw what was going on, and they came to us for that help. Now, as president, I want to not only keep that same communication and that representation that I've come so familiar with over my past 3 years, but I want to enhance that to completely new levels. I wholeheartedly plan on having frequent meetings, both formal and informal, with students ranging in all types of level of involvement, all 4 years of Elon students, really just so I can get the best understanding of what the students are feeling. Because as the student government president, you are representing every single student on this campus. Now, on a personal level, sustainability has always been the most important thing for me. I've consistently worked with both the Office of Sustainability and different students on campus to really try to make Elon as green as it can be. I've helped run the Earth Day celebrations. I've helped implement a pilot program to put in recycling bins into first-year housing, and I want to keep those types of initiatives moving. The school has made a ton of really great strides in this past year, moving to the single-stream recycling and increasing the amount of composting bins, which is great, but that's just the start, and I really think that we can continue to go from here. As the executive president, I would love to add a sustainability seat to the Senate so that there is somebody who always has that mindset to keep Elon green, to keep SGA green, and to keep us focused on those types of issues the entire year. But just because I'm focused on sustainability and that's what really gets me going, that doesn't mean that I'm going to push aside every single issue that comes on my desk. Like I said, as the SGA executive president, I really have to represent every single student who walks on this campus. And that's what I really plan on doing. There are almost 6,000 students here at Elon, each single one of them with a completely different perspective, completely different experience. And with all those 6,000 students coming together, we can make phenomenal strides forward. Now, it is those students who really make me want to run for this position. In my short time, in the past 3 years at Elon, the school and the people have given me so much more than I could have ever asked for. And just the ability to be able to give back in such an influential way, to be able to give a voice to those students who might not have the avenues or have the confidence to step up and make those changes that they want to be seeing, that right there is why I'm running. I truly believe that we are one Elon. We represent so many different walks of life, so many different opinions and perspectives, but together we make Elon, and together we can do phenomenal things. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris Tarpley, and I want you to elect me as your student body president. So just a little bit about me. I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I'm a music production and recording arts major with a minor in jazz studies, and I was also one of the drum majors for the Fire of the Carolinas marching band this past football season. And for those of you who don't know, I was the one with the cowbell, so yeah. I want you to elect me as executive president. I want you to elect me because I believe in this concept of unity and diversity, which is having unity without unification and diversity without defragmentation. Now, while this may sound like an oxymoron, it is about transcending a mere tolerance of our differences, but moving towards a more of having an understanding of our differences that will bring us together. I want to use the position of executive president to bring our campus together by incorporating an understanding of our differences. I want to encourage different organizations to work together to provide more events for our students, but also increase the amount of students who are coming out to events. I also want to make sure that we have more students going out to our sporting events and supporting all of our athletic teams, but also supporting the band, cheerleaders, and dance team, and singing the fight song in the alma mater to show our love for our school, but also show our support for all of the hard work that our athletes put in. I also want to make sure that we are just not including anyone. I want to see more unaffiliated students working with our fraternity and sorority life, but also making sure our fraternity and sorority life is having more events for students who are not affiliated. Another reason why I'm running is because I think it's time for SGA to renew its vow to the student body. As I've been campaigning, I've been talking to students, and they've been saying things like they do not feel represented or feel like SGA does not have their best interests, and I think that needs to change. All of these positions are a public position that are voted by the people and need to represent the people, and each candidate needs to be as selfless as possible. I want to do things to make sure that students' needs are heard and met, and I also want to make sure that we are pushing for the university to change things that not only reflect our personal beliefs, but also what the students believe. I think the SGA can do a better job of being a place where people know that they can come and talk to us about any issues that they have. I think we can do a better job of making sure students' voices are being heard and that we are listening to those voices. But I can't do this without you. I need everyone from SGA to fraternity and sorority life, from Black Student Union to Latin American Student Organization. from Safe Rides to Spectrum, from Sub to Esports Club, and anyone else who is willing to stand beside me on this journey, not only to create a greater school, but to create a greater community. Thank you.
Thank you guys, appreciate that. So now we're gonna ask you a question here, a couple questions. This one is gonna go out to all of you. First, Chris, you're up. Diversity and inclusion, they're hot topics, they're buzzwords here on this campus. What can SGA do to further the conversation of diversity and inclusion?
So I believe that the way to increase our diversity and inclusion is to have more events where organizations are working together. I think a lot of times we have specific organizations throwing events, but people don't either know about them or the same people show up to them. But by including different organizations within those events, we can have an influx of different communities. I believe this Friday, La Habana, for Friday Night Live, there are a plethora of organizations working together to throw that, and I think that's going to encourage a lot of different people to come together and have that kind of community and that kind of interaction that we don't tend to have on this campus. So I think SGA has the ability to start having those things and start connecting different organizations together and encouraging those interactions so that we have different students coming together who normally wouldn't have an interaction within an event.
Kyle, your thoughts?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe with everything Chris just said. Branching off of that, I definitely think that the SGA could be a great platform for students to get funding for those types of events also. I think that there's a lot of students out there who maybe don't necessarily fall into a different category that is going to host an event like that one that Chris just mentioned. But making sure that they know that if they came to SGA, that we would be able to help them out, whether that's through the Fund, which doesn't need an organization to help you run an event, or if they had the organization to come through SGA for that kind of funding. And then, like he said, just really partnering with those organizations and making sure that we as a Senate come out and support our constituents, and then bring our constituents that we're representing out to those events.
Yeah, I also want to echo what my fellow colleagues have said about partnership with various organizations throughout Elon's campus, like LASSO, the Latin American Student Organization, the CREED, or BSU, the Black Student Union. Overall, I really want to include more representation within SGA because there's a lot of minority students within our campus that don't feel like they are represented. I want them to feel welcome throughout their 4 years at Elon, and especially coming into Elon. So diversity is at the forefront of my platform. I plan to do a lot with that topic, including working more with orientation. I have talked already with some orientation leaders and people who are now in charge of orientation, and I have discussed various plans I have, like including more diversity sessions and topics such as racial discrimination history, events that have happened on Elon's campus to educate incoming students about racial discrimination issues that have happened so that they don't happen again. We can educate them on the impacts it has had on our community, how it has separated us and segregated us within different organizations and different races. I no longer want to see Elon be separated. I want to unite Elon, and that's at the forefront of my platform.
So Stephen, now this question's for you. You're a member of the Student Issues Committee of SGA. What's one issue you've seen come up this year that needs to be addressed, and why?
Certainly. So as previous senators have mentioned, and some of my colleagues, security has been a huge issue throughout this entire year, especially with lighting around campus. There have been a lot of concerns. There have been people who are always terrified of almost getting ran over by cars around our campus. Unfortunately, we did have someone a couple years ago get ran over. So at the forefront of issues within Student Issues Committee, we have focused a lot with security, more parking spaces, but overall we are working more towards how we can improve security, whether that's through e-rides and improving e-rides, and also helping fund safe rides so it would still remain on campus. But overall, security is a huge issue that we're trying to fix within our campus.
Thank you, Stephen. So Kyle, you say as executive president, you want to make sure lines of communication and representation of constituents enhances to new levels. What do you mean by that?
I think that the way it's set up now, I think there's a lot of great representation that's done, excuse me, but I think what happens a lot of times is that the same people wind up having the same conversation. So it's the people who are in this room that want to make the change, that they're standing up here, they're willing to put out the time, put out the effort to see what they think should be done to Elon. But as you can tell by the size of the room, we're not 6,000 students. So really just as the president, getting myself out there, whether that means going to different organizational meetings just to ask them about stuff, I know one of my co-chair for student issues has done a great job this year with making sure that all of our senators are out there also in, say, the Oak House doing senator hours. So continuing things like that, but then just doing it more by going to different organizations and having conversations with the people who might not necessarily be having those conversations in the first place.
Thank you, Kyle. So Chris, you're a busy man on campus. You're one of 2 drum majors in the Fire of the Carolinas. You're president of the music fraternity. You're pre-law, and not to mention your other classes. Executive president of SGA certainly takes up a great deal of time and effort. How can you assure the student body that you'll be able to give your full and undivided attention to SGA if elected?
So that's actually a great question. I think that I've learned over my past 3 years about time management, and I think I have the ability to manage that time. My first semester I had 22 credit hours, and I really learned how to manage my schedule and use my schedule to enhance everything that I need to do. So I don't believe that my other positions would necessarily hinder that. I think they would help me have the ability to enhance the position of executive president. Obviously, I'm very accessible. People know that if you need to talk to me, you can get in touch with me. And I think I'm a very organized person, so I would be able to use that to make sure that nothing was just thrown under the rug as executive president.
Yeah. So now we're going to do closing statements, just quick 15, 20 seconds, a tweet, if you will, from each candidate here. Stephen, you first.
All right. Once again, thank you for everyone that was here today to watch these elections. Also for everyone that's watching via website and Elon Local News, thank you very much. In order to conclude, I believe that I deserve to be your executive president because, as I mentioned before, I really want to unite Elon's campus. There has been way too much separation over the past 3 years since I've been here. I have a lot of plans and goals that are attainable, both short-term and long-term plans. I really think that together we can work together. I'm here to listen to your concerns and yours and everyone else's so we can come together and answer all these and resolve them together. But overall, I hope you vote for me next Tuesday, March 1st. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Kyle.
Yeah. So again, my name is Kyle Poro. I'm running for executive president. I think that Elon is the greatest place on earth, but that doesn't mean that there isn't room for growth. Like I said, we're 6,000 strong, and together we can do phenomenal things, whether those are small initiatives like helping out one single person or helping out a small group person, or making campus-wide initiatives to help all 6,000 of us. Really, it's going to take all of us to make Elon the Elon that we want it to be. So together, I think we can do great things. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Chris?
Again, Chris Tarpley. Hope you vote for me for executive president. I believe I have the ability to really bring our campus together. Once again, my stance is unity and diversity, and using that really to educate our students and educate organizations and trying to get everyone to work together by encouraging different organizations to work together, to host events and get different people going to different events. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. Good luck to you 3 next week. Thank you, candidates, for everybody who gave speeches. Now we're going to throw it back over to Alex in Studio A.
Thanks, Gary. Elections are next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Students will receive an email the day of elections with instructions on how and where to vote. Students can vote for the representatives within their class and all executive positions.
Now, we'd like to thank the people who helped make this SGA election and show possible. Senior Class President Sean Berry, Senior Class Vice President Robert Danis, Executive President Avery Stedman, Dean of Student Health and Wellness Jana Lynn Patterson, and Elon's physical plant. Without you all, this show would not be possible.
That's all we have for you tonight, but make sure you cast your ballot next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Make sure to check us out online at elonlocalnews.com for an exclusive interview with current Executive President Avery Stedman.
This has been Elon Local News' SGA Election Show. Have a great night, Elon.
Welcome back.
We're joined by current student body president Avery Stedman. Stedman has held positions in SGA all 4 years, including executive treasurer her junior year.
She was inaugurated just about a year ago and will be soon handing over the keys to the office to a new executive president.
Avery, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us here in Studio A. So your presidency is almost over. You've been here almost a year. Can you tell us just a little bit about your presidency?
Yeah, so it's been an incredible experience. Right now is the time of the year that a lot of things, the little tidbits that I've been trying to get done all year have finally fallen into place. We just updated our website. There's new boards in Mosley that people can use free posting, so you don't have to have your posting approved, which I think is great for free speech for students. So when people are walking through Mosley, they're getting a real sense of who our students are. Other things like that have just been really exciting. Mosley updated, especially because I have been on SGA for the past 4 years. There was a lot that was, talked about when I was a first year, and then now as a senior, finally coming to fruition. So it's also been incredible. Obviously, made such great friends this year. I've had incredible support from my executive team, my vice president especially, and also from Senate. Our committee chairs are outstanding. Rachel Hobbs, who's running for the junior class president, she is our student issues chair, and she did incredible work. She worked so hard every single day to do whatever she can for students. She created a new website for the student issues so people can input their ideas for things to change on Elon's campus. And also she is about to announce a very exciting initiative that will change campus transportation.
Now you touched upon some of those accomplishments in your time in office, and one of the big ones would be the Rally for Respect and Racial Equality that you organized last spring. What are some other big accomplishments you've had during your term as president?
Yeah, so I think like most of them I was just talking about, but one of the biggest ones that I've noticed recently is the interest in SGA elections. And this experience in the past few weeks, seeing almost all of our executive races contested, 3 people running for executive president, that just gives me so much pride because I know that people are willing to carry on the tradition of creating a organization that people look up to and would like to be in. We currently have an entirely full Senate, which is one of the first times that's happened for me being on Senate. So that was extremely exciting because that shows that students want to be represented and are willing to represent their students.
Right, and what is one thing that you wish you could have done during your term as president?
I think, so my goals as president are big goals, and I think they're goals that many students have. And to create an inclusive community is not something that can happen over a year. I wish that there could have been more done every single day to create more of an inclusive community. I wish we could have had more conversations, although I feel as though the conversations that I had on a daily basis were fulfilling, and they will lead in the future. With the 3 candidates that you all just saw for president, I think they can carry on that tradition and host events and things like that that will really create a community that everyone will feel like they belong in.
And lastly, when others look back on your time as president, how do you want to be remembered?
I hope I will be remembered as someone who's there to listen and someone who's there to think for their students constantly and to never forget about them. This job as president is something that you don't really ever get to go home from. And I would like to be remembered as someone who's committed to Elon for life and not just for the presidency that I was in. I don't see my term ending in a couple weeks. I see this as a commitment for the rest of my life. I love Elon and I will do anything for Elon. And I hope that's what people will remember from me.
Great, well thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Avery. We wish you the best as you approach graduation. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.